But let's move into the next topic, and that's our favorite weekly segment called Wet Boys. Before we do that real quick, check out twitter.com/mostvaluablepodcast. I think we're a little over 500 followers, closing in on 600. And if you ever want to talk to us throughout the week, that's going to be the best way to do so. But we're going to talk about the dampest of dudes, the soggiest of shooters, the moistest of men, the driest of dudes this week. These are guys that had historic performances, absolutely popped off throughout the past week. Crazy stat lines galore, impressive buzzer-beating shots. This is the segment where we showcase those players. Ricky Widmer, I'm not going to you first because we have a first. Mm-hmm. We have the first time we have ever given out a dry dude. On the wet boy counter, we usually give a 1 to acknowledge you've become a wet boy. Well, now someone's getting a negative. Dave, give us your wet boy. Or your...
Dry dude.
Dry dude.
Sir, this is a first. This is absolutely first. This is history in the making. You are here for it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm calling out the refs. I'm calling out specifically Eric Lewis, the NBA referee crew chief from this past week's game, Warriors-Clippers. Look, this was a grand event. This was the return of Boogie. This is 5 All-Stars starting for a team. Never been done before. Not since, I think, the way back Celtics. But the point being, this was the event of basically the regular season. We all want to wait and see how this works out. And guess what? The refs just didn't want the spotlight taken from them. So in a 48-minute game, they hit 54 fouls. 5 technicals. Like, Boogie got a Boogie got 2 separate technicals. And normally that means you get thrown out of a game, but because one of them was him doing a pull-up on the rim, he thankfully was able to stay in the game. But this completely murdered the flow of the game. The only upside to this was it was Boogie's return, and that basically meant this could not be quashed. He fouled out, of course he did, in in record time. I think it was like 16 minutes or something, incredibly short. But he had a great game. Doesn't matter because the refs just trying to ruin it. I'm fed up, boys. This is. We've complained all year on the side about reffing. Like the James Harden calls, just refs destroying the flow of game. 54 fouls in 48 minutes is inexcusable.
I will say, it's not the most ever. Most personal fouls, though, in one quarter was 19 back in 1982. Then there was also both teams one quarter, 32. Dallas at Denver. Dallas had 19. Denver had 13 in a 1982 game. It was the same one with the one quarter one. One half, too, there was 30 fouls as well. But that's absolutely crazy. Most personal fouls was 122 back in 1949.
Yeah.
But it's absurd, especially the 5 technicals, too. Especially the one, I'm so sick of this year with the whole hanging on the rim calls. I know that, Draymond did do a pull-up on the one that he was called for.
You could argue it's balancing himself because his legs swung all the way up.
Isn't the rule technically that if you do pull up at all, you get called for it?
Yep.
But it's even outside of that one. Like if you're looking outside of the one that he had that pull up on, there's plenty where it's just literally just a two-handed, just straight up two-handed dunk. They go up forward, they hold on for maybe 2 seconds, and they get called for a tech. It's absurd what they've been calling, at least when it comes to technical fouls for hanging on the rim.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute joke.
And the amount of just little back talk that's like, oh no, technical. Like they gave a warning to both benches like 4 minutes into the first quarter, basically saying like you've both been warned. It's like holy shit, like come on, let the guys play. And it was a super fun environment. The crowd was going nuts. Everything was like it was a great game, and they tried to ruin it. So that is why. Dry dude.
I will say, too, Clipper games have been getting crazy. You had this one. You had the last time Golden State was in LAC where Draymond and Boogie are fighting, Draymond and Durant were yelling at each other.
Yeah.
And then you had the game like 2 years ago or whatever where the Clippers were ready to fight somebody in the other locker room. So some crazy shit's going on when the Clippers are playing. But Ricky.
That was Chris Paul, and I remember that because the game of zones.
Who were they playing?
It was.
Do we remember? Was it Boston? Was it Rondo?
I think so. It was, yeah. Yeah, it was because the game of zones thing.
Or was it? No, it was when CP3 was on the Houston Rockets.
You're right.
It was his first time coming back.
Yeah.
And then Blake wanted to fight him or something.
There was talks of the hidden tunnel, right?
Yeah, the hidden tunnel. But Ricky, get us back on track with Wet Boys. Who's your Wet Boy?
No, mine's easy. I wear shoes every week. Steph Curry. This guy went off. I almost said this boy, but this guy is a man.
He's a wet boy.
He went off this week. 48 points, his highest that he had in one game. This guy's the best shooter that we've seen. I don't think I'm saying anything new from that, but just going off this week and helping the Warriors go on that win streak that they've been on.
Well, and last week too, we were at dinner talking about how he's now third all time in most 3-pointers made in an NBA career, closing in on number 2 in good old Reggie Miller. So we'll see. I think it's probably 2 years, maybe even a year. Until Steph, it just depends on his health, probably.
Yeah.
Watch, you say that, and Steph goes, hold my beer, Sean.
He's going to make 500 threes next year.
Yeah.
Watch out.
So shout out to Steph, best 3-point shooter of all time. Let's move now to mine. I think this is a first for this year. Third net, because Karras had one. But I think he might have had one last year. I'm going to double check. No, looks like this is his first ever Wet Boy. So we're going to go to Brooklyn. We're going to go to DeAngelo Russell. D'Lo having himself a game, 28 points per game, 7 assists, a steal a game, 53% from the field, 53% from 3, also hitting a game winner against Orlando. Absolutely clutch, ice in his veins. When D'Lo's on, I mean, he's one of the better scorers in the NBA, and it's weird to say that because, I mean, he gets picked, and it's never like he's it's so on and off with him. He's never consistent enough where, like, when he has those games, it's not, like, extremely newsworthy because he's never hitting like over 50, but when he has those games, like he's one of the most dominant players, at least offensively, when it comes to the guard position, and it's incredible to see.
And in this game, you didn't mention that the stat of the night for me was 19 consecutive points from DeAngelo Russell, basically willing them to win, where the Nets offense was stagnant at that point and they weren't doing anything. And he's just like, I got it. Just put it on my back. I'm going to bring the ball up the court and I'm just going to do it. Yeah. And it was awesome.
And I will say one thing too is just like starting to see a little bit of the consistency around Christmas time since
Karras went down.
Yeah, well, no, not even that.
I mean, that has a lot to do with it.
But I mean, you look at December 16th because he didn't go down at that point. He was already well out because Karras went out in about November.
Yeah.
Like December 16th, December 18th, 32 points, 22 points, and then 13 and 3. But ever since the 23rd, 18, 16, 33, 22, 23, 28, had a game of 5. But then 23, 24, 34, 10, 40. Over those past about 12 games, he's averaged 23 points consecutively, 48% from the field, 40% from 3. The one thing that I do just want to see a little bit more from him is just more of a kind of an attacking game. I want to see him go to the bucket. I want to see him get fouled a little bit more, only averaging about 2 attempts from the line a game. I want to see that go up a little bit because, I mean, he does have a fairly strong body. I don't know if it's like, James Harden level. He doesn't have massive strength, but I think he can at least use some of his speed to at least draw some fouls when he's going to the hole. And maybe even expand his game a little bit because if he starts attacking, driving a little bit more, it's going to open up the outside shot for his teammates, but also it's going to open up the outside shots for himself. I mean, you might see those 3.2 shots, 3 made per game and 8 threes attempted per game go from like 4, and he's just shooting 50% from 3, and that'd be absolutely
insane.
Deadly. Yeah. So shout out to DeAngelo Russell, and then the other guy that we're giving Wet Boy to. We said this last week. Until he just is not worthy, we are not going to give him Wet Boy. James Harden, 51 points per game over the past 3 games. 51 points. 51 points, 9 total rebounds, 7 assists over the past 3 games. 44%, 93% from the free throw line, and that's on 17 makes per game and 19 attempts. Insane. Harden.
For me, I'm almost at the point where it's like, let's just shut Wet Boys down. James Harden's got it this year.
James Harden
we'll be back next year.
See, I was thinking about that because like it is. I think it's James Harden's most likely to be Wet Boy of the year. I don't see how he's not going to be able to be.
Unless like right now, like Steph Curry, because out of the guys that are in second with 3, Steph's the only one that I would like. Him, Derrick Rose, and AD. Steph's the only one that can string together some weeks. Like AD's injured though. He's injured for 2 weeks.
I still think he's got the ability.
Unless LeBron comes back and just goes, I'm a god. Like I am a god, but I'm gonna go god mode now, Super Saiyan, and then just lead the Lakers into the playoffs again. Like other than that, like I think James Harden's gonna run away with it.
Harden's got 6 right now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You updated
and second place has 3.
Do we just completely disrespecting Giannis? He's not a
No, Giannis has got 1.
He's got 1.
He's got 1.
Tied with Nikola Vucevic.
He's tied with a ton of people.
Yeah, Thad Young too. I don't know. It's just what he's been doing is incredible.
We haven't seen it in our lifetime. I think that's the most incredible thing is we're at a point.
Maybe with Kobe. Some people would say 2006 Kobe.
He's surpassed Kobe.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Like I was Kobe stan for a long time, but like he surpassed what Kobe's done. He's doing stuff that only Wilt has done, and Wilt's numbers are written in crayons because no one freaking can believe it. Like I know it happened.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, the legitimacy of the league at the time and the level of competition, the pace of the game. There's a lot of asterisks to throw around Wilt's numbers, whereas James Harden's numbers are like, Jesus Christ, this man lives at the foul line, and if you don't like watching that, you don't like his basketball.
The thing I hate about it is he kills the flow of games.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's like he's going like off and not going to the line, but when does that happen?
That's my thing is like, when I'm thinking of a basketball player and how you can be the best basketball player, I want you to go to the line. But when I'm watching a basketball game, don't go to the line. Fuck that. Especially late in the game. I'm so sick of it. Like 2 minutes turned into like 20 minutes. Like, come on. Like, let's get this going. That's my only gripe with James Harden is that he does kill the pace.
But what he's doing carrying a team this year is incredible. Like we talk about Russ, year one of his triple-double, and how that was just so incredible to watch. And now he's, halfway through year 3 averaging a triple-double again, and nobody cares. Because it's like his impact on the team is lessened. In my mind, that's
plus,
what...
Well, you look at how it already happened. Like everything
he's done it 2 years in a row, and now he's going to do it a third year.
But I mean, it was so special the first time because, oh my God, we've never seen it before.
Well, we've seen it, dog, but...
but like we weren't alive.
That's what I'm saying. So like James Harden being able to carry a team like he is right now with Chris Paul out, Clint Capella hurt, like... He is willing the Rockets team through games, and that's just, I think it's incredible. It adds another level to this because, what was it? The amount of unassisted shots he takes?
I think it was like, no, shots he made. I think he made like near 50 consecutive shots made without an assist.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Or something like that.
It's incredible.
And he's getting some help from Kenneth Faried, of all people. And they might be moving on from Carmelo soon, but we'll monitor that and keep an eye out.
And the last thing that I find funny is Levitard brought this up, was like... He's like, so we're all just going to forget about the game this week where he played Orlando and went 1 of 17 from 3, right? Like, we're going to forget that this is the James Harden that can go cold from 3, and that's why they lost a playoff series.
We'll just say it was his homage to Game 7.
And, yeah, I mean, like, I think that, he going 1 of 17 is horrible. It's bad, but, like, you look, again, who he's playing with. Like, I can't really blame him for taking that many shots, and... sometimes nights you just don't have it. I mean, you're playing with P.J. Tucker, Daniel House, Gerald Green, James Ennis, Marquise Chris got 10 minutes. So that means
I don't know, man.
You're
for
in
a
trouble.
while, I saw Melo in a gym. He was shooting some stationary three-pointers, and he was making them.
He ain't playing with a Rockets jersey on.
No, he's not.
So, I mean, it's incredible to just see what James Harden's been doing. Let's move now just quickly to the Fantasy League. 87 points. We are in 5th place. Haven't had to make a move in a while. Still rocking Derek White, Noah Vonleh, Tobias Harris, Danny Green, Andre Drummond, Russell Westbrook, Bielitsa, Malcolm Brogdon, Boogie is back. I guess that's the biggest change. Blake, Otto Porter Jr., Gary Harris, and Trae Young. That's our team. Just making sure that so I do have to update the starters for everything like that. But we'll go to the standings. We are in 5th place right now. Again, 87 points.
How far out of first are we?
Grantham is 91, Super Hippo's 95, Big Ballers 95.5, and still Kyle Craig at the top. Philadelphia 76ers 104, and he does have a healthy Steph back.
Yeah, that's scary.
Has Steph, so I think that was the big thing.
No, I was going to throw out that because I just looked at it. That's why is the thing that blows my mind, and this is kind of like an over the season thing. Mike, who does
he
have
has LeBron. I'm sorry,
he's got Steph. At the beginning of the year when he was in first, like Steph's playing great, Joe's playing great, Bobby and Zach were doing good, Zach Hart was doing good. Oh, look, he's in first place. And like I looked and I was like, wait, he's below us now?
Yeah.
Like he's in 7th? Like how does that happen? But I mean, it depends on how your team plays. Like that is just one I look at. It's like,
players get not.
I'm sorry, 6th. He's tied for 6th.
Yeah. And 7th then teams pretty much. I mean, like he's in that 7 range. Just real quick, just for the actual like roto things, field goals made, we are in 4th. Field goal percentage, we are not doing well. 5th from the bottom, I guess. Right? Does that make sense? So
13,
if you're going for the bottom,
9.
5th, 9. Thank you. Free throw percentage, we're actually going up. We are 10th. 3-pointers made, we are 4th. 3-point percentage, we are 6th. Rebounds, we are 2nd. Assists, we are 3rd. Steals, we are 2nd. Blocks, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are tied for 6th. And then points, we are 6th. So, I mean, it's pretty decent. Just got to get those points up, got to get those blocks up, and especially free throw percentage and field goal percentage. are the big things with us. But I like seeing rebounds being second, assists being third, steals being second, and field goals maybe being fourth. I like that.
The only thing that made me nervous is when I was just scrolling through the NBA news, and it's like Andre Drummond enters concussion protocol. I'm like, uh-oh. He better not be out too long. We need him to get those rebounds.
But Boogie's
back.
Boogie's back, so it's fine. The only other thing that I would say is, any additions that should we look into that you think? Like, should we get somebody who's a better field goal maker? I mean, like, that's the biggest thing that's killing us right now is field goal percentage.
So what we need is a shot taker.
A shot taker who's making a deep no. Jesus Christ.
I like the way you think.
I mean, should we get Rashawn Holmes? He's making about like 3 buckets a game. He's hurt right now. 3 buckets a game, 67%. Thomas Bryant, 3.7 field goals made at 66%.
Yeah, I mean, we're still stuck basically just under a month out, or just around a month out from Isaiah Thomas' return, so a little too early to poach that.
Yeah. Do we want to pick up Kenneth Faried? Think he's going to do anything in Houston?
I mean, he's going to get minutes.
He's going to get minutes.
You're looking for field goals made, you said?
We're field goal percentage. But we don't want to just get like a guy who's making a field goal a game because that's not going to affect too much.
I mean, because on here, this is 2020, like the whole year stats. D Wade isn't shooting bad. How's he doing in his last few games, though?
No.
I don't know. The last few games, he hasn't been doing bad. It's going to help out our field goal percentage.
All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. We're going to get off this topic immediately. We're not picking up D Wade. I don't care. We're not picking up D Wade. Who would we drop? Who are we dropping for D Wade?
I don't know.
No, we're not
whoever you think that isn't, like, because look at it. He's overall a 43% shooter.
That's not that good.
It's, I mean, unless you're going to go after, like, Batum right now is the top one that they have on here. Unless I'm going to do just straight field goal percentage, but then I'm getting like guys.
Should be doing.
Yeah, but then I'm getting like guys that are shooting.
That's why I was saying Thomas Bryant, Rashawn Holmes, were making like 3 a game, so it's something decent.
Yeah, a little bit of volume.
I don't even know where can we see our team as a whole. Show stats. Here we go. 2019 season. Our field goal percentage is at. It doesn't even say totals, averages, totals. What the fuck? It doesn't even say. 49, 46, 49, 43, 49, 41, 48, 51, 54, 45, 47, 48, 43, 39. I mean, the biggest people that are killing us is pretty much just Trae Young and kind of Russ. Yeah, Russ.
Yeah, but I mean, those are 2 chuckers that we're not going to drop them.
Yeah. I don't know. We could probably drop Trae Young. Trae Young's not good.
We get something for Trae Young.
Yeah, I guess.
All them assists.
Yeah, and I mean, he did have 24 and 11.
Yeah.
Damn, Trae Young had 10 rebounds?
He's not a bad player.
What the fuck is Milwaukee doing letting up 10 rebounds to fucking Trae Young?
A 5'5"
Jesus Christ.
point guard? Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, that's going to do it for the fantasy break and the Wet Boys.
And Dry Dude.
And Dry Dude. So shout out to Dave for pulling in a
I had to break
good
it
Dry
up.
Dude. Yeah, had to break it up, and it was a good choice.